So, some interesting developments for the head coaching vacancy carousel. Mike Vrabel is really almost essentially confirmed to go to the New England Patriots. And in my opinion, he really was the 1A head coach that was available for all these job openings. So, not the best news if you're the Chicago Bears. I really wanted him to go to Chicago, but it just makes too much sense for him to go to New England. It's just the perfect story. He's a player there, he's a coach there. Now he gets to become the head coach for a long time. So, good for the Patriots, good for Mike, but not good for the Chicago Bears. Now, there was a report earlier today that the Bears request an interview with Cowboys Mike McCarthy. Now, listen, man, my opinion on Mike McCarthy isn't very high. I really think he wasted a lot of Aaron Rodgers' prime years in Green Bay. A lot of choke jobs, man. He had a lot of Super Bowl caliber teams, but just couldn't get over the hump. A lot of chokes in the playoffs. And you know what? He has a pretty good resume in the win-loss department. I can't argue with that. And he is a Super Bowl champion back in 2010 with Green Bay. I absolutely think the Cowboys should move on from him because he definitely has a ceiling, and that ceiling is just a playoff appearance, in my opinion. But you know what, man? For an organization like the Chicago Bears, where the bar is set extremely low, they've only made the playoffs twice in the past 8 years. I don't know. I it's crazy for me to admit this, and it's sad for me to admit this, but Mike McCarthy to Chicago, it's not the worst thing in the world. At least I think, because Mike McCarthy has at least shown he can work with elite quarterbacks. Of course, Aaron Rodgers for a long, long time, and Dak Prescott as a regular season QB. He's been in the MVP consideration in previous years in the regular season. So I think Dak Prescott in the regular season looks elite. So Mike McCarthy, Caleb, I think it could work, and I think that would be good for Caleb. And I think it would be good for future regular seasons for the Chicago Bears. Would they do anything in the playoffs? Probably not, but at least they would get playoff berths and, generate a little more money into that franchise. Not saying that the franchise is struggling to make money, but they are in early stages of making a new stadium for the Bears, so you kind of have to take that into account to a certain extent. And, for the Bears to have at least winning regular season records wouldn't be a really bad thing for them and for the NFL. I just think the NFL is a lot more fun and a lot better when the historic franchises of the NFL are doing good, like the Bears, Packers, etc. Yeah, in the past 8, 10 years, Bears haven't really been in that category of being a successful franchise. And if you disagree with me, I 100% understand why you think Mike McCarthy wouldn't be a good fit with Chicago. I totally, totally understand. I just think for the state of the Bears organization, it's a very safe move, but I think you kind of not, I don't know. You don't have to do it, but you have to be really, really careful here, because if you hire another defensive coordinator and he just flames out in the next 2 years, there's a real chance that Caleb will get traded by the end of his rookie deal, and then you waste another 4 years with a rookie QB, and you potentially waste Caleb's potential. And it's just, you really have to salvage Caleb and his rookie contract right now, and just his potential. And Mike McCarthy could possibly salvage him. He could possibly salvage Caleb's career with the Bears, and that's why I love it. It's not a great move, but it might be the move they have to make, especially with Mike Vrabel probably no longer being available. Of course, it's not confirmed that he's going to the Patriots yet, but come on, man. Sometimes you just have to link two and two together, and it's just too obvious. Like I'd be absolutely stunned if Vrabel went to the Raiders or the Bears over the Patriots. Like that would be stunning to me. But yeah, man. You let me know what you think about Mike McCarthy to the Chicago Bears. And as far as Mike McCarthy's perspective, he reportedly does have interest in joining the Bears and, you know, former Green Bay Packer head coach, so he's definitely very familiar with the NFC North. And who knows, I'm sure he doesn't have full on vengeance in his mind when it comes to Green Bay, but he's still probably slightly sour of how things ended in Green Bay. So definitely added extra motivation to take the Bears job for sure. And in my opinion, if I was a head coach or an OC interviewing, you know, the Bears job opening, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. A solid defense with an offense with unlimited potential. Sure, ownership is kind of shaky. A lot of people have their opinion on Ryan Poles. I don't know what to think of him right now. I'd say dead set in the middle. We'll have to see how he does in this upcoming offseason, but it's not a bad job opening at all, man. The Chicago Bears are also reportedly very interested in Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. Also, Brian Flores, Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinator Drew Petzing, and New York Giants offensive coordinator Mike Kafka. I definitely want to go with the Arizona Cardinals OC. Brian Flores, Ben Johnson, and Aaron Glenn are all interesting names. And after the Detroit Lions' defensive performance last night against the Minnesota Vikings, I feel like Aaron Glenn will definitely get a head coaching position this upcoming offseason. And he is linked to the New Orleans Saints, so we'll see how that turns out. But Ben Johnson, there was actually a report after the Lions played the Bears in Chicago that Ben Johnson was interested in the Chicago job. And you know what, man? If I'm a Bears fan, if I'm Ryan Poles, it's not a bad hire as well. Of course, he does not have that head coaching experience, so it's definitely a lot riskier than the Mike McCarthy hire, but it has potential to be a lot better than the Mike McCarthy hire because we don't know Ben Johnson's potential as a head coach. You never know how it could all turn out. I mean, just look at Kevin O'Connell and all the Sean McVay disciples. You know, you never know until you know. So the Bears really have a couple options here. They could really play it safe, with Mike McCarthy, or they could hire Ben Johnson. Now, I've obviously expressed why Mike McCarthy to Chicago isn't a bad idea, but honestly, man, if they end up interviewing all those guys and Ben Johnson is interested and Mike McCarthy is interested and it just came down to those two hypothetically, I'm a risk taker sort of guy. You just have to go with Ben Johnson in that situation. You just have to, because not only is the potential for Ben Johnson to be a lot greater than Mike McCarthy a real possibility, but you're also making your division rivals a lot weaker too in the Detroit Lions, so it just makes too much sense. Brian Flores is another interesting piece as well, just because he does have that head coaching experience, but again, I don't think Caleb needs a defensive-minded head coach for his future years with the Bears, so we'll see, man. A lot of moving parts, a lot of stressful times for the Bears organization, and we'll see how it all plays out, man. I just hope they don't screw it up. Definitely kind of nervous for Caleb and everyone who roots for the Bears, but we'll see how it turns out, man. We'll see. If you made this far, please subscribe and like the vid. It'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
The defense, a little jumpy right there. Breaking huddle at the 35-yard line. And Gates is split out wide on the left. First down at the 35. Allen can't bring it in. That'll probably go as a drop. One of the top receiving threats of this game is Keenan Allen.
Jim, he had a terrific rookie year in 2013. When he is healthy, one of the best route runners in the NFL.
Phillip Rivers has it under center. Gordon's handed the football. It'll be third down. Rivers has got it in the gun.